Hi everyone, welcome to Baking with Mrs. Roach, and today we're going to make baked muesli. I love baked muesli. I like it at breakfast time, and I also like it as a little snack throughout the day because it's got that nice little bit of sweetness and crunchiness about it. My son Harry, he also loves this baked muesli, and I make it for him and I send it to him because I don't get to see him very often. So that's a nice little sweet treat for him as well. Today you'll need an adult to help you with making sure the oven is turned on the right heat, and the only other thing you might need an adult to help you with is the microwave when you're softening the honey so it's a bit more usable. But you can decide on that and talk with your mum and dad or whoever you're cooking with today. You can talk to them about that. So I've got nice clean hands and I'm ready to go. Let's go and bake some muesli. First of all, into the bowl, I've put one heaped cup of rolled oats. And really, it doesn't matter too much if you don't measure it exactly. And what I like to do is grab my rolled oats, grab my cup measure, and really just scoop a nice big cupful out and into the bowl. Alright, next ingredient I like to put in is some pepitas. And pepitas are actually dried pumpkin seeds, dried and cleaned, and they're ready to eat just like that. So I like to put in about 3/4 of a cup of the pepitas and give that a stir at this stage just to see how the mix looks. And I'm using my lovely old spoon that my gran gave me from when I used to cook with her. Okay, that looks good. Some other things that I like to put in. Now it doesn't really matter if you don't have these things, and you might decide to put in some other interesting ingredients in as well. But I'm going to put in today some currants or some dried up tiny little sultana grapes, and I've got about 2/3 of a cup, and again it's not exactly even, but it's what I had in the cupboard, so in that goes. And I've also got some nuts that have been left over from something that I had. Now, obviously, if you have a nut allergy, you wouldn't put the nuts in, but I'm making this batch of muesli for my son. He loves nuts, he doesn't have any allergies, and you could crush those up if you wanted to, but I'm going to put them in just like that. Why not? And the ingredient that binds everything together is lovely, yummy, golden honey. Now, into this mix, I'm going to put 1/3 of a cup, and we might need a squeeze more after we mix it to make sure everything gets coated. And it's really important that you have enough honey to coat everything in the mix, and that way it goes nice and brown when it's baking. I've got my oven on to 180 degrees Celsius, and it's a fan-forced oven, and I melted the honey just a little bit so it would come out a little bit more easily out of the squeezy pack of the honey. Sometimes I like to put, instead of honey, sometimes I like to put maple syrup. If you've got a honey allergy or you prefer to have maple syrup, it's a slightly different flavour, and I do like to put maple syrup in sometimes. But today I'm putting in honey. Okay, off we go. I'm going to scoop out the honey just to make sure we get all that golden goodness into the mix. There we go. And now I'm going to mix it all in. And remember, if you haven't got quite enough honey mix, then it's okay to add a bit of a squeeze more. Mix it all around and give it a little bit of time, because you might think straight away, oh, there's not enough honey, but in actual fact, once you get everything mixing around, it doesn't take much to coat it all. And you can tell when it's coated it all because you won't have any dry ingredients falling to the bottom. It'll all be kind of sticking together to all of the other ingredients. Okay. Now, if you wanted to put in more oats, or you wanted to put in some more pepitas, or some more nuts, different dried fruit, I think that would be perfectly fine. I make it like this because I know that Harry likes his muesli like this. And I don't think we need, at this stage, I don't think we need any more honey everything is mixing in quite nicely. And you can see down the bottom there that there's no oats falling by themselves. They're all stuck to something else. That looks great. And that's really as easy as it is mixing it all together. So let's bring over the baking trays. Now the baking trays, I have already put baking paper onto 2 baking trays, and I'm going to spread the mixture evenly onto the 2 separate trays. So I will clean off the spoon with the spatula so we get every last little bit that we possibly can. Very sticky with the honey, but that's okay. That's what makes it so good. Right, let's get rid of the spoon. And let's pile on half onto this tray, like that much. And then over here, I know you can't quite see that, but trust me, I'm putting on the rest of it onto another tray, and I'm just scooping out onto the tray with the spatula, and I'll bring it over and I'll show you. Okay, so there we have both the trays. I'm just going to spread it out so it's nice and even. Oops, hold on to that. It's nice and even on the tray. That's one done. And if you find you've got too much on one of the trays, it's pretty simple. You can just transfer some over to the other tray. You don't need to pat it down. You don't need to do too much at all, apart from spreading it out nicely. And the more evenly that you do spread it out, the more evenly when it bakes, it'll be nicely browned. Okay, here we are. I'm going to go over to the oven now and get ready to put our muesli into the oven, ready for it to bake. Yummo. Okay, so here we are over at the oven, ready to bake our muesli. So my trays are ready. I've got one tray on the bench ready to go in, and I've got this one at the oven ready to go. Pop your muesli into the oven for about 10 or 12 minutes. Check it. If it's turning a nice golden colour, then it's ready to come out. It might need another couple of minutes, depends on how your oven cooks at home. Okay, I look forward to seeing your muesli all baked and golden, ready to eat. And you know, in the pictures, in the photos, when you post them on Facebook, you might choose to put some yogurt on your muesli or some milk. Or you might choose to put some fresh fruit on your muesli. You could show a photo of it done on the tray, in a bowl, or ready to serve and eat. Happy cooking, let's go.